The most electrifying show in radio entertainment today, Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Well, it's the big show.
I'm a nice man.
Make some noise!
X-Spot!
1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H.
We're a week away from Fully Loaded. Will we have a new champion?
Will we see the return of the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Will Freak give up his inflatable dolls?
No. This week I get in the ring with the one and only Shane O'Mac, the most hated man in the WWF, the Giant Killer, Shane McMahon. Plus, we have great WWF Fully Loaded prize packs to give away, courtesy of WWF's Fully Loaded on pay-per-view next weekend. Kodiak, is my crown ready? Because Kurt Angle might be the king of the ring, but I'm the czar. Let's start this week's edition of Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Piledriver.
This is Raz, and we're coming to you from the entertainment and wrestling capital of the world in the heart of Times Square in New York City. With me, the Kodiak Bear, professional wrestler and bearded lady.
That's right, it's the Kodiak Bear, 351 pounds, and the 10th wonder of the world.
Yeah, people wonder what the hell it is.
And welcome to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show. And next to me is the dirtiest white boy, Freak.
Dirty or not, get ready to get beat for the next 2 hours. We are the only show on the radio that gives you all the latest dirt, rumors, and news in the insane world of sports entertainment.
That's not all we got. How about kick-ass music from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Perfect Circle, Korn, and much more? Let's get it on with our girl Candy and find out what's happening with the Poontang Pies of wrestling.
Look for some hot new faces in the WWF and their twins. When will Stephanie ditch Triple H? And how long will Tori be out with an injury? I'll let you know. Will Trish Stratus be the next WWF hottie to grace the cover of Playboy? Stay tuned to find out.
Hey, Candy, the zookeeper called. Your cage should be clean in about an hour.
Oh, that's right. I heard you escaped last week.
Look, you haggard old bat. If my dog had your face, I'd put it to sleep.
Kodiak, let's get this straight. There's only one fat, hairy, ugly-looking pig on this show, and you're it.
As always, let's ring the bell and let the madness begin.
Woof, woof. Let's get this whole train rolling. It's the Bone Crusher Countdown with your number 5 most requested song, Godsmack with Bad Religion.
Bone Crusher number 5. Piledriver. The WWF Report with Al Isaacs.
Talking WWF, he's taken bumps from steel cages at the hands of Mick Foley. He's taken bumps through announcer tables at the hands of The Rock. But is Triple H ready for perhaps the most painful bump of all? A bump from the top of the WWF ranks. Fans have been very vocal that they are tired of seeing Helmsley and Maivia week after week, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. The Helmsley-McMahon era has run its course, and now a new batch of superstars has been pushed to main event status. Names like Jericho, Benoit, and Rikishi are now hunting for the big gold. So where does that leave Triple H? Well, first and foremost, it leaves him in position to take a much-deserved vacation. But is he ready for the ranks of superstars who don't need a title to remain in favor with fans? Can personality alone carry the game? Well, personally, I believe so, but let's not forget how much heat Helmsley lost on his last sabbatical after injuring his knee a few years back. I believe he's come a long way since then, and even without gold, Triple H will remain in the ranks of top draws in the WWF for years to come. From ScriptsWrestling.com, this is Al Isaacs.
Oh, Kodiak, King of the Ring has been over for weeks now. You can take off your evening gown.
Raz, it's just like you to ask a guy to remove his clothes. It only goes to show you ain't fashion savvy. This ain't an evening gown. It's an authentic Polynesian moo-moo.
Fat cow.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's bust some heads open. It's time for this week's steel cage match.
Coming in at 670 pounds, hailing from Milwaukee, where great beer is made in the home of Laverne and Shirley, it's Bender with Superfly. That's what the ladies call my zipper.
This week's contender.
Bender, our contender. Laying some serious smackdown, here's our 3-time world champ, hailing from Escatawba, Mississippi, coming in at 770 pounds. It's 3 doors down and loser.
Now, the reigning world champion, Piledriver.
It's your turn to get fully loaded and pick who wins the match.
Email us what tune you want back in the ring next week and what song gets a money shot from Val Venus. Our email address is piledriver@mji.com. That's the contender, Bender, or 3 doors down, our reigning champion. So grab your computers, shine them up real nice, and stick them straight up your candy ass and email us right now.
At piledriver@mji.com. Raz, how do you email somebody if your computer is up your ass?
I asked the family of 4 that moved in to do it. Shut up now. It's time to talk puppies.
It's time for Candy's Corner.
So, who's going to be the next WWF diva? Well, be prepared to see double. That's right, 2 for the price of 1, or 4 puppies instead of 2, as Freak would say. The latest bombshells to hit the WWF are Diane and Elaine Klimaszewski. They're twins and blonde, so do I need to say any more? If Freak's palms aren't hairy enough now, just wait for the twins to hit TV. Look for them to start off in small parts until the WWF can find the right angle for them. So how long will the table-smacking Tori be out for? Look for her to get some much-needed rest for about 4 to 8 weeks. She'll be resting an injured shoulder, but when she comes back, look for a new gimmick for Tori. Well, our favorite slut, Stephanie, is about to get sluttier as her and King of the Ring, Kurt Angle, start to get hot and heavy as the feud between Triple H and Angle gets hotter as SummerSlam nears. I'll have more on Trish Stratus and Playboy next hour.
After intermission, I step in the ring with WWF's one and only Shane McMahon.
This is Shane McMahon with the World Wrestling Federation, and I'm looking forward to getting in the ring this week on Piledriver.
We're back with more Piledriver.
I am Raz, and you are so not going to find a better show on the radio. Let's give a big old stinky face welcome to our new Piledriver affiliates, WRIF 1011 in Detroit, KRTQ 1023 in Tulsa, KBER 101.1 in Salt Lake City, and KNCN 101.3 in Corpus Christi. Thanks for coming on board, you heaping piles of steaming monkey crap. Here's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Bone Crusher number 4, Piledriver.
Here's our own sewer rat. He's been scouring the alleys for the latest rumors and dirt.
This week's Rumors and Lies. It's time for the Speculum with Otis Brawl.
Hey everyone, it's me. I'm back again. This week I'm in Stanford going through the trash at WWF headquarters looking for the dirt that you guys said you want. Your Uncle Otis aims to please. Word here from Titan HQ is that the Blue Meanie and Vic Grimes have been released from their contracts, but I'm hearing this might be a big swerve leading up to the return of both the Job Squad and the Oddities. Woohoo! Some of the key players in this angle could include Midian, Viscera, Gangrel, a possible return of Luna, along with Job Squad regulars Al Snow, one or both Hollies, and a Chubb to be named later. Expect the two factions to be feuding over Gilbert for most of the fall. This could play out in a pay-per-view main event, and not a moment too soon. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick of seeing Buff headlining every event. And how will Mick Foley, the new commish, play into this one? Brawl says, let the fat fly. Fully Loaded's looking like a loaded card. We could be seeing a number of Young Lion versus Old Guard matches. Kurt Angle versus Undertaker, Triple H against Y2J Chris Jericho, as well as The Rock taking on the Crippler, Chris Benoit. We can expect to see Shane O'Mac in Benoit's corner. We may even see the Giant Killer going up against the Big Red Machine. Speaking of Kane, are his mask days numbered? Could the mask be coming off and the biker gear be coming on? I see a Hell on Wheels tag team in the very near future. The undercard also looks to be fully loaded with a Taz versus Rikishi match and the usual hardcore shenanigans. And anyone who's seen the promo photos for this pay-per-view are hoping for an appearance by the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's unlikely he'll be in fighting shape, but a well-planned run-in is always welcome. This is Otis Brawl, and I'll be back next hour with more from the Speculum.
Piledriver of the Week.
My pick for this week's Piledriver is The Undertaker. The man from the dark side has been with the WWF for over 10 years, and the fans don't tire of him. Every few years, the 3-time WWF Heavyweight and Tag Team Champion keeps reinventing himself. He is constantly refreshing his style and image. He entered the WWF in 1990 at the Survivor Series, managed by Brother Love. Then he left Brother Love and was managed by Paul Bearer. He broke away from Paul and then became a fan favorite. Some of Undertaker's most memorable matches was his casket match, defeating Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, and Jake Roberts, and throwing Mick Foley off the Hell in a Cell cage onto the floor. This man lives up to his name, the Phenom. Freak.
My Piledriver of the Week is Stevie Richards, or as he now likes to be called, Steven Richards. Steve is a former ECW maniac who's gotten lost in gimmick hell in the WWF. He wrestles a lot of dark matches and really doesn't get too much TV time. But now the WWF has him playing the network censor, and I think this gimmick can get him over with the crowd. He's the guy who covers up the hoes and the divas when they get ready to take off their clothes. Not that I want the hose covered. I like my hose uncovered. But I still like seeing Stevie Richards getting over. Raz?
My Piledriver this week, Mick Foley. He is back as the WWF commissioner. He has used humor and sense as his weapons in taming the WWF since taking over. He has shaven his head. That was great. And his verbal sparring with The Rock was priceless a couple of weeks back. I still think, though, he should have hit Patterson in the nuts with the hammer instead of his hand. This week, I go one-on-one with the Giant Killer, WWF's Shane O'Mac.
Hello.
How you doing? Is Raz there?
Speaking.
Shane McMahon, how you doing?
Shane.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
Member of the Mean Street Posse, the Giant Killer, big brother, #1 son. Shane McMahon.
What's up?
Let's talk a little bit about you. You're an interesting story in yourself. How was it growing up as Vince McMahon's son?
I don't think any different than any other kid who has a parent as a celebrity. I don't think there's any difference there. But growing up kind of with your dad as a, quasi-celebrity status, it does change things a little bit. Kids do treat you a little bit different until they get to know you.
Right.
So I think, anyone in the limelight has, with their family anyway, has those same scenarios that they have to deal with. But it's been a blast. My dad was always there for me, and it still remains there to this day.
Now,
we're real tight.
Did wrestlers come over your house? Like, did Hulk Hogan come over for Christmas and stuff like that?
Not for Christmas, but time for time, you have some of the guys pass by. Sure.
Does it seem strange that your family life growing up in wrestling, that your family would become part of some of the storylines?
Well, it's a whole different deal now than it used to be.
Right.
You keep saying wrestling. Wrestling is what it used to be back in like the 60s and 70s.
Right.
As the 80s came around, we changed that into sports entertainment.
Right.
And now, as we're in the late 90s and 2000, it's now just pure entertainment.
Right.
So we don't even call it wrestling anymore. We just, even though it's in our title, WWF, we're just entertainment.
No.
But I think the whole change of everything is it's what the public demands. It's what they want. Where are you gonna sit for 2 hours Monday night and Thursday night in a pay-per-view and things like that and say entertain me?
Right.
What one show on television? I challenge any show out there. The WWF shows are a hybrid of everything that's out there. Best of Hollywood, soap opera storylines, pyrotechnics. It's like MTV through music and what have you. Production techniques. That no one else can top, and I sound a little arrogant about it, but I truly think that we have the best product on television.
Now, your entire family is involved in this business, and your father's been going strong now for a long time. How do you feel about the future for yourself? Do you think you'll take over the business and become the head guy when he retires? If he retires.
Well, I never want him to retire.
Right.
It's so much fun working with him. B, everyone has a lot to learn, especially myself. And I'm fortunate enough to have a mentor like my dad, to always teach and continue to grow. As it relates to the company is just growing so fast and it's so wide open as, we expanded the XFL and other entities like that in the music business and what have you. It's just so wide open and so much fun. It's just... it's really cool. It's an exciting time for all of us.
Piledriver.
When we come back, we find out what band juices up former WWF hottie Rena Merrill, and WWF Shane McMahon gives us his feelings on Monday Night Football and his ultimate heel sister, Stephanie.
Hey, this is Scotty Too Hottie from the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
This is Raz, and if I had a table big enough, I would slam every one of you jabronis who listens to Piledriver on WTOS, Portland, Bangor, Maine.
Bangor? I hardly knew her.
Hi, this is Rena Marrow, and our hardcore tune-up of the week is Kid Rock.
Piledriver.
Kid Rock, our hardcore tune-up.
Kodiak's Wrestling Dictionary.
All right, you ships for brains, it's time for you to learn. Here's some wrestling terminology and their definitions. Struff from Lawrence, Massachusetts, who listens to Piledriver on WAAF. What do they know? I've seen on the internet sites the word shoot. What does it mean? Well, as Vince McMahon professed, professional wrestling outcomes are predetermined. What we in the business call a work. A shoot means when the wrestlers really go at it. Everything is legit. Nothing is held back. Sometimes a wrestler will shoot in an interview, meaning he will speak frankly and sometimes reveal some of the behind-the-scenes information. Thanks, Struff, for your question. If you would like to know a definition of a wrestling term, email me your term and maybe I'll use it on the air. Send it to KodiakBear@KodiakBear.cc.
What does shoot your load mean?
Ask your sister. Now it's time to turn the show over to you, Kodiak Maniacs. It's our Body Slam Song of the Week. If you want your song to be on Piledriver, call us toll-free, 1-877-792-SLAM.
And if we pick your beef jerky, pig knuckle-eating T-shirt wearing stupid ass, you're getting a cool Piledriver T-shirt. So call us at 1-877-792-SLAM. It's a free call.
Hey, you're on the air.
This is the Animal from Cushing, Oklahoma. And my song of the week is Thunder Kiss 65, the Pitbull theme song. Yeah, that's right, I said the Pitbulls because they're the only true Mad Dogs of War.
Piledriver.
White Zombie, a Body Slam Song of the Week. Let's get back in the ring with Raz and WWF's bad boy, Shane McMahon.
How do you feel about Monday Night Football and the changes they made? Today they announced Dennis Miller being the host of, one of the co-hosts of Monday Night Football. Does that interest you at all or give you a pause for just some reflection?
No, not at all. Again, we focus on what we do best.
Right.
And we have a younger demographic. We have the 12 to 34 demographic, and the NFL is on Monday nights 35 plus.
Right.
Now, I'm a football fan, so I mean I enjoy the games. But I'm busy on Monday nights.
Yeah.
You know, I'm busy. But yeah, I'm a avid NFL watcher. You know, I watch on the weekends. You know, Sundays are great. But then it's also what led us into the XFL.
Right.
You know, and we don't compete with the NFL. But, you know, my pops and I would sit around, and my dad would always be depressed once football season went off. You know, at the Super Bowl, what do? You watch the Pro Bowl, then the week after, then you're done.
Right.
A lot of people are not basketball fans. A lot are, but a lot aren't. And if you're not, what else do you have around there to watch? Well, what other sporting events? So that's why the XFL starts Feb 3. You get another 12 to 14 weeks.
In Chicago in February on Soldier Field. That is going to be one hell of a day.
Insane.
That's going to be sick.
It's insane.
Yeah, now you're proud of your sister. How did you feel when she turned heel and she got such a pop from the audience?
It was a good pop. You know, I mean, I'm proud of her every day, you know, but it was a real good pop for her, and, you know, I was proud of her. It's a unique feeling. I can't really describe it on the telephone or on television, what have you, because you don't get that feeling that you do when you're there live and you feel that 20,000 people either cheering or jeering in the case. And you get the goosebumps up the back of your neck, you know, and your hair stands on end, and you all of a sudden you get real cold, and it's just an overwhelming feeling of electricity just pumping through your body. So as long as there is a reaction, that's what you try to strive for every single time you go out.
Now, your reaction has been one where you get an excellent pop, but it's on the negative side. How do you feel about that when the people you are trying to entertain start turning on you and you're sitting there going, this is working, but I don't know how I feel about this personally?
No, there's no conflict.
Right.
Again, as long as they're entertained, that's the whole key. You know, I mean, that's what we're all there for. You know, we're characters, and however you feel about us. If you want to cheer me, wonderful. I appreciate it. If you want to boo me, great. I appreciate it. You know, but I'm there for you.
Piledriver.
After our next break, we testify harder than Devon Dudley for another hour of ass-kicking and table-breaking. We got more with WWF Shane McMahon, and we tell you stinky face-loving goobers how you can win a WWF Fully Loaded prize pack, courtesy of WWF's Fully Loaded on pay-per-view next weekend.
Hello, this is Mick Foley of the WWF, and you're listening to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling show.
Don't even think about switching the station, you piles of monkey crap. Piledriver will be right back. Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show. Now, Raz and Kodiak Bear.
Hey, this is Raz, and we're ready to beat some ass for another hour. And back after spending a week eating small animals in the woods of Minnesota is the Kodiak Bear.
Minnesota's known as the land of 1,000 lakes. When I was done, it was known as the land of 1,000 licks. Raz is still in the ring with WWF Shane McMahon, and we announce who won the WWF's Fully Loaded prize pack. Kid Rock crashes back onto our countdown harder than the Big Red Machine Kane, giving some punk a tombstone.
Here's his brother, The Undertaker's theme song.
Bone Crusher, number 3. Piledriver.
Raz and WWF's bad boy Shane McMahon are still laying the smackdown.
What's the next step for the WWF in your mind?
Continued growth. Just continue to grow. We will not be denied. Again, you have Hollywood and things like that who don't understand, what the WWF is. And we just come flat out and say, hey, guys, we're entertainment. And listen to the millions and millions, to quote someone, quote The Rock,
right.
Of not just The Rock's fans, but the WWF fans. They are fans because they want to be fans. No one's forcing them to do that. They want to be entertained, and I would say that they come looking, for one place for the entertainment, because there's no other place in the world to get it. There's none other than the WWF show.
Mean Street Posse, personal friends of yours growing up.
Yep.
You still have a good relationship with those guys?
Yes, I do.
Are you going to develop any more with that, or do you see any more inclusion in the weekly television shows with those guys?
We'll see. You never know what happens. Right now, the Mean Street Posse is down in one of our farm territories. So they're developing and getting better, and again, that's a product of a storyline that just all of a sudden caught on.
Right.
It started going back to the X-Pac and myself. Well, these are the guys I grew up with. And the whole thing of Greenwich, Connecticut, and its pompous, elitist type attitude. And these are the rich kid friends that do what they want and got the cars and the girls and do whatever they want, never get in trouble with the law because they own it and what have you. So that's a storyline that just all of a sudden caught on. And we'll see what happens with those guys. Again, it's not up to me. It's not up to Vince or anyone. It's up to the fans if they like it.
Are you keeping your eye on the other federations? WCW has pretty much gone down the toilet for a while and have seemed to be making somewhat of a comeback. And ECW, who knows what they're up to now, especially with Paul E going crazy on his television contract. Do you keep an eye on what happens in there?
You always keep your finger on it and just be informed. No different than we do with everyone else, such as ABC, CBS, NBC, right. Fox, etc. So who are you competing with? Ally McBeal. Other shows on television, Monday Night Football, if you're going against Raw, I'm just taking Monday nights. Right. You take Thursday nights, you're going against Friends, etc. So who is your competition? Right. And we look at it that way. From a genre standpoint, and I hate to use the word genre, but putting in WCW or ECW, they do what they want. If you want to compare, then watch one of their shows and watch one of ours. Right. And I would like to think that we're a far superior product, and we really work at it to be better.
I'll finish giving Shane the people's elbow later in the show as he gives us his feelings on the Hulkster. Let's rewind with some AC/DC.
Old school powerbomb. Piledriver.
AC/DC, our old school powerbomb.
Check.
All right, you Austin 316 jagoffs, we ask you to give us your best Texas rattlesnake imitation. Here they are.
Now, let's bite back.
I'm James from Roanoke. I listen to Piledriver on 98.9.
What are you laughing at, monkey?
Bear.
The Kodiak Bear.
And if you think Piledriver is the best damn radio station or the radio show in the whole universe, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, what's up? This is Anthony, and I listen to Crab Radio KRAB in Bakersfield, California.
He calls every week.
I think that I can do the best Stone Cold invitation. Here it goes. Oh, Vince McMahon is going to get his ass kicked, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. That sucked.
You're right, Anthony, it did.
I'm called Ninja Mike.
Did he say colon ninja?
I listen to this on the Riff 101.9 in Detroit. And Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass.
Austin 316 says you suck.
Peace out from Ninja Mike.
Hi, my name is Vince Stone. I live in Philadelphia, PA. I listen to Piledriver on WMMR. And my impersonation is, Piledriver's the greatest network. And that's all I got to say about that. Because Stone Cold said so.
Kissing our ass will definitely get you a prize.
Hello, Piledriver. This is Miss Stone Cold Steve Austin. Deborah and the puppies ain't got nothing on this because Stone Cold definitely said so. Now, you better give Miss Austin the fully loaded package because Austin 316 says if you don't, when you get the code 316 in your pager, you best believe that the rattlesnake is going to break out a big, fat can of whoop ass on you.
You got fat can right.
Yeah, in her pants.
Yeah, my name's Sean Smith. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I listen to you on 99.5 KISS, best rock in San Antonio, my imitation of Austin. Oh, hell yeah. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin telling Kodiak better shut the hell up before I put my boot up his smelly ass. And for you, Raz, I've got a six-pack of whoop ass for you, you piece of shit.
You shouldn't talk about your mother's cooking like that on the radio, boy. Stone Cold? It's Stone Cold, you moron.
Did he just call me a piece of shit?
He is one smart listener.
Great.
All right, my name is Corey Livermore, in my imitation of Stone Cold. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Freaking cheesehead.
Thank you.
Hey, Corey.
Oh, I'm sorry. The radio station I listen to you guys on is Razor 94.7 FM out of Michigan, Wisconsin.
Listen, you Richard Simmons sound-alike. Be honest. You've never kissed a girl, have you? And never interrupt me again.
This is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, Austin says he's going to drink a few beers, get laid, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What's up, pile driver? That was my buddy Chris Doherty from good old Medway. He is the true self-made Medway legend. And Kodiak, you're a fat ass.
Look, you little piece of turd. That dog barking in the background ain't no dog. That's your mother. And I'm her trainer. You crap. I'll smack your head in.
You know what, Kodiak? Just bring it.
If you want to answer our Bite Back question of the week for next week's show, just give us a call. Toll free, 1-877-792-SLAM. Remember, it's a free call.
As always, the question is on our phone line. Just call us at 1-877-792-SLAM. Answer the question, and if we use your bite, you'll get a free Piledriver t-shirt to wear on your next beer run to the Piggly Wiggly. If you want to buy your very own Piledriver t-shirt, just send us $15 plus $3 for shipping and handling to Piledriver t-shirt, MJI Broadcasting, 135 West 50th Street, 8th floor, New York, New York, 10020. And specify your size, Malenko, Big Show, or Rakishi.
What's pissing us off this week? Well, now it's time for someone to get the big F-U.
F-U of the week.
A big F-U to the WCW. Come on! What was once the number one federation is now in danger of a total meltdown. I hear they have conceded that they won't be able to beat the WWF in the ratings. Is that what Russo and Bischoff were hired for? To concede? And what's with the rumored split? A word to the wise to the WCW, cut the crap. I hate the way they've treated Hulk Hogan in the last couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks back, Monday Nitro was on Tuesday? This is way too confusing and will kill the WCW. After our intermission, Candy's back talking hose, and I finish up my match with WWF's giant killer Shane McMahon, plus music from Papa Roach and Nickelback.
Yo, this is the Grandmaster Sexay from the World Wrestling Federation, and you're listening to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Jabroni's Piledriver will be right back. We're back with more Piledriver.
Hey, it's Raz, and more exciting than elitist thong underwear is Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show. Well, maybe not that exciting, but it's pretty damn close.
Hey, this is Ryan. And this is Chad, and we're from Nickelback, and you're listening to Piledriver, the rock and wrestling show.
Piledriver.
Raz finally taps out and ends his match with Shane McMahon, the WWF's evil #1 son.
Russo and Bischoff. Any comment on those guys?
No.
I didn't think so.
I mean, I don't know Eric. I've never met him ever. Russo, I really no comment on him either.
Is there one person in the WCW you know would survive or prosper really well in the WWF right now?
They have a couple good talent.
Is Goldberg one of them?
I don't know from a human being standpoint.
Right.
Because I've never met Bill, so I don't know. Again, in order to fit into our group, you have to fit in our locker room, first of all.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're the most talented athlete in the world. If you don't fit in the locker room from a personality standpoint, then it's no different than working with your coworkers. You know, if you don't get along with them, nothing's going to get accomplished. So you have to fit in the locker room first, and then everything else starts to take its course.
You miss Hulk Hogan?
Do I? No.
How about as far as being with the WWF concerned?
Do I miss him? No, yeah. I don't think anyone else has either.
Is that a locker room thing again?
I think it would be. Mm-hmm. But Hulk was great in the '80s. I mean, I was a Hulk Hogan fan. You know, but that was '83, '86. You know, I mean, that was a long time ago. I wish him no ill will. Good luck to you, Hulk. But I feel kind of bad for him. There's a time to hang it up.
Yeah.
There's just that time.
You ever think about helping these guys out with planning their money and stuff like that? Because isn't it sad to see Terry Funk wrestling in garages? And, all that other stuff. And do you wish you could, say to these guys, save your money, dude?
We do. You try to get them to do financial planners and things like that. It's no different than an NBA guy who's making, $7 million, $20 million a year, what have you, and then all of a sudden he's broke.
Right.
Just planning it out. All that money coming at you so fast, so young. You're just like, oh, man, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
You got to start planning for it.
I know. And then you look at somebody like Jimmy Snuka and you say, what the heck? This guy needed to help himself out.
It's a financial plan again.
Right.
So we do encourage that.
Shane, your organization is tremendous, and I appreciate you taking some time with us today and give us an insight on your family and your career and your federation. And I just thank you a lot. I appreciate you coming on today.
Well, I thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Next week, Raz steps back in the ring with WCW superstar and wrestling legend Bret the Hitman Hart, as Bret talks about Owen, his feelings on Vince McMahon, and the WWF.
It's time for Candy's Corner.
Apparently, WWF's Tori's injury was far worse than she thought. She injured her shoulder at a house show in New York City about a month ago. She then worked King of the Ring, which further aggravated it. Unfortunately for Tori, this is the same shoulder she severely injured years ago while working in Japan. Expect her to be sidelined for a good 3 months after surgery. Chyna is proud of her body and doesn't mind showing it off. Chyna talks about her decision to pose for Playboy on WWFdivas.com. The much-anticipated edition hits newsstands in November. All right, announcer, let me hear those words.
This week's piece of ass.
My piece of ass is the WWF's ring announcer and the hottest ring announcer anywhere, Lillian Garcia. Not only does she have a great set of pipes, she also has a great ass. And she sings. I can't wait till she starts taking bumps. And hurry up, put her on in an evening gown match. I need to see her boobs. Kodiak?
All right, this week's piece of ass is Goldberg. Now, before you say anything, wait, let me explain. This guy doesn't realize how lucky he is. He bitches and complains more than a chick who has PMS. He's propelled to the #1 spot, and he never paid his dues. He's nothing more than a Steve Austin ripoff. He sucks as a wrestler. He's terrible on interviews. He's got no charisma, yet he's a top guy. And he complains to the WCW that his character was being stale, and he wanted to change. So what do? They make him a bad guy. The crowd begins to hate him, and what does he do? He starts to complain that he's being booed. He doesn't like being booed, so he wants to be a good guy. Wake up, you bald-headed, brain-dead imbecile! You're a bad guy! You're supposed to get booed! What do you expect, a ticket tape parade? Practically every wrestler who's in this business has been a bad guy once in their career. Hogan, Sting, Flair, Hart, Luger, Page, Austin, Rock, The Undertaker, and all one time or another have been booed by fans, but they still got over. So why don't you take some Midol, put in a tampon, suck it up like a man, and stop crying like a broad? Freak, Raz, whoever, just go ahead.
Wow. My piece of ass this week is Nitro Girl Chiquita, named by her mother because she liked the dancing banana in the commercial. Good thing she wasn't watching a douche commercial. Chiquita has great tomatoes and loves being a Nitro Girl. Her goal is to become a choreographer. Her role models are Debbie Allen and Olympian Flojo. Great.
That's it for this week's Candy's Corner.
This is Ringler from Isle of Q, and we are this week's fresh meat on Piledriver, the rock and wrestling radio show.
Piledriver.
Isle of Q, our fresh meat. Let's check back with Otis, who's probably still hanging out in some dumpster.
The Speculum with Otis Brawl.
Hey, I'm back with more. The King is alive and well. Jerry Lawler's been pushing for more wrestling spots for himself, and he may finally be getting his wish. Vince has promised that we'll be seeing him in the ring on a more regular basis. I can't think of any wrestler I'd rather see do battle with censorious Steven Richards. The mic work alone could be the funniest spots on TV. And while we're on Steven Richards, will Kurt Angle be joining Richards and Bull Buchanan in their quest to clean up the WWF? Work or shoot, shoot or work. That's all I've been hearing from you guys. Is Hogan really gone, or is this just another angle with no payoff? Did XPW really show up unannounced at Hardcore Heaven, or is ECW pulling an invasion stunt? Here's my take on both. There's one thing you can always expect from a real shoot angle. A whole lot of contradicting stories and a whole lot of trash talk with more inconsistencies than a Wendell the Wandle promo. Yet we're getting the same stories in the same order from everyone in the WCW camp. If this was a real on-camera breakdown, you'd better bet Hulk Hogan would be blasting his usual inane chatter to the moon, but he's telling the same story on the same timeline that Russo's been telling anyone who asks. Looks to me like the beginning of the long-talked-about WCW split. Expect two federations to emerge from this, and expect that one will be run by Russo and the other to be a Hogan-Bischoff outfit. Where on the dial either will be is anyone's guess. As far as the ECW-XPW situation, ask yourself this. What does ECW get out of a public fight with an organization that isn't even on national cable? They have enough problems finding a new home without elevating another federation into the game. XPW wanted some free publicity, and they got it. And they're getting it again right now. Well, end of story. Well, actually, it's just the beginning, as the lawsuits will be flying. Send your questions, comments, and hateful, spiteful rhetoric to obrawl@AOL.com. And I'll be back next week with more rumors, dirt, and lies.
After our next intermission, we head into the pit, so get ready to dial 911.
This is Eddie Guerrero. That's right, man. Latino Heat. And if you don't watch it, I have Mamacita knock your teeth out, man, on Piledriver.
The Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
It's Raz, and this is Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. Here's the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Californication.
Hi, this is John Frusciante of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and you're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and the Wrestling Radio Station.
No, John, are you still on Smack? I said the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
Bone Crusher, number 2. Piledriver.
The Chili Peppers, your number 2 Bone Crusher. Let's get ready to rumble. Are you ready, Kodiak?
Hell yeah!
Freak! 30 seconds to say what you want.
Let's get in the pit.
Kodiak, go.
ECW, you hypocrites! They say they're nonconformist rebels, but at a recent pay-per-view, you censored people wearing t-shirts of a local wrestling federation. How loud do you think Paulie would bitch if the WWF and WCW did this? The XPW, you bunch of ECW wannabes. If you want to make a name for yourselves, be original. If you don't believe me, look at the WCW. They're trying to be the WWF, and look where it's getting them. And the WCW, stop trying to be the WWF and be yourselves. In 1997, you created the NWO, and everybody wanted to be you.
Shut up! Freak!
Who's hated more in the WWF, Steven Richards or Triple H? How can I join the faction? I don't know which gave me a bigger chubby, seeing Lita's thong or watching her being dropped from a ladder into a table. Do you think, hey baby, would you give me a stinky face or work in a bar? Oh yeah, Trenton is the nastiest place on earth. Buff Bagwell's mom is hot. Just kidding. Mike Awesome versus Lance Storm in the WCW? Who would have thunk? Why does the franchise Shane Douglas wear a dress into the ring? Mark Madden is the most annoying a-hole in wrestling. Raz?
You know, something pimping ain't easy, man. Tori has a torn labrum. Where is that and how do you tear it? Ew. Sign of the week? Anus! Lita and Trish fighting is a wet dream. Sometimes Chris Benoit has a tooth. Did Mick Foley say hello to his testicles? Eddie Guerrero wears roach killers. Did you watch Billy Kidman for $6.95 on pay-per-view? No. I wear jeans and a t-shirt to a recent WWF house match. I felt overdressed. And I almost paid $10 for a foam middle finger. If the WCW does split, will the ratings? Stephanie is getting hotter by the minute. Hey, Trish, how about a booby face? Lance Storm and Mike Austin beating Mike Austin for the U.S. Championship. I thought I was watching
Shut up, you stumbling moron!
Man, I feel like China's implants after one of them burst. That's the pit for this week.
As always, if you want to answer our Bite Back question of the week and make our ears bleed with your ass backwards comments, call us at 1-877-792-SLAM and answer the question.
That's 1-877-792-SLAM. Here's your number 1 most requested tune.
Bone Crusher, number 1. Piledriver.
Papa Roach, your number 1 bone crusher. When we come back, we'll wrap this mother up.
Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. You're listening to Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show.
That wraps up this week's Shane McMahon edition of Piledriver, the Rock and Wrestling Radio Show. We'll be back next week with part 2 of our match with Bret the Hitman Hart. Freak and Candy will return. Al and Otis bring your candy asses. All the news and rumors you can stand.
For daily updates on all your favorite wrestling action in and out of the ring, check out scoopswrestling.com. If you want to contact us, check out our new website at piledriverrocks.com. And our new message board is open and waiting for you to give us some feedback.
If you want the Kodiak Bear, you can email him at kodiakbear@kodiakbear.cc or call him at 973-743-0629. That's 973-743-0629.
This is the Kodiak Bear.
And this is Raz. Keep it in the ring. Kodiak, since you decided to take last week off, you do the credits.
All right, the executive producer of Piledriver is Joshua, the $1 Million Man Feigenbaum. Senior producer is Phil, the Brain Rado. Written and produced by the unpredictable Corey Natko. Engineered by Rafael, the Wizard Jimenez. Production assistant by John Weber, Michael Azar, Diane Tonelli, Dwayne Crawford, Vinny Miko, Herb Perez, and John Boyanelli. Piledriver is an exclusive presentation of MJI Radio Network, copyright 2000. All rights reserved. No portion may be used without the written permission from the producers.
Passed your GED. Thank you. And thanks to our board operators across the country from coast to coast, including Luke at Rock 105 in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Luke, I am your father.
Piledriver is not affiliated with the WWF, WCW, ECW, or any wrestling federation or publication. We're nobody's bitch.